Yo, what up, a-holes? Thank you for tuning into the Holistic A-Hole Podcast. Mi nombre es Erik Levi, y yo soy el Holistic A-Hole. ¿Dónde está usted? ¿Y tú? Muy bien. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? Así. ¿Dónde está la moto? Oh, what am I doing? What's up, y'all? How the heck are you doing? I am back at you here for another awesome episode of the Holistic A-Hole Podcast. What's going on? Hope you're doing great. As you can tell, I'm feeling pretty good. I just got back from a trip to the wonderful country of Costa Rica, and I was living the pura vida and getting some sun and some good natural vitamin D. Let me tell you something, man. If ever there was a country, a beautiful land made for the holistic a-hole, I will tell you 100% unequivocally, it is the beautiful land of Costa Rica. Amazing place, beautiful people, fucking phenomenal food. It's the best. Loved it. So much good stuff there. Herbs and spices and grass-fed, meat from cows that look like cows, dude. You know, chickens that eat bugs and run around, and they're really free range. It's not just like written in some, text in some legislation passed by a bunch of, old crusty congressmen. Like, they're actually free range animals, you look over on the hillside, there are hillsides in this beautiful country, and you see cows just roaming, and they got muscles, and they're lean, and dude, it's, oh my God, I surfed, I whitewater rafted, I climbed shit, I freaking just damaged my body beyond repair. It was supposed to be vacation, and I've never really surfed in my life. I still can't surf, but I sure as heck gave it a try, and pretty sure I cracked some ribs doing that, but it was still a blast. Got stung by a jellyfish, never had that happen before, thought I was gonna die, but that was fine. Then went into the jungle and, saw some snakes and just the beauty of the jungle. And maybe I'll do a podcast episode about the jungle because there's a lot going on there, man. Maybe just like in this whole just country of Costa Rica, just so much awesome stuff. Oh, I should do a whole podcast episode, but that is not this podcast episode. But I am feeling good being back, man. If you don't do this, just go somewhere. Get a passport, get out of America, go see the world, talk to people in other languages. It's the best. It's cleansing for the soul. And now I'm back in stuffy, angry, loud, polluted New York City, and I couldn't be happier. I'll be honest. So it's good to be back with you guys here, and today we're going to talk about diets, because that's what we do on the Holistic A-Hole. We talk about diets, I could talk about all this stuff, but the a-holes, the new a-holes and the old a-holes, they want to know, what do I eat? And I hate to tell you, but today I don't have the answer for you, because what we're going to talk about is a study that was published last year, and they tried to answer that question. What do you eat? It's called the Dietfits study. It's a randomized clinical trial, and basically what they did in this study is they tried to figure out what diet is the best. Now, they didn't throw all the diets out there, but they basically compared a high-fat, low-carb diet to a high-carb, low-fat. Is that what I said? High-fat, low-carb, high-carb, low-fat. They compared these two diets together because really, on the battlefield of the war of diets, this is the big thing, What do you do? Do you cut your carbs? Do you cut your fat? Let me tell you, dude, in this journey, in this holistic a-hole journey, I have personally been subject to both sides of this argument. I've gone both ways, man. I'm bi-diet sexual, and I've tried them both. I've experimented, and I'll tell you, man, I I don't know which one's better because I lost weight on both and I was in shape on both. And I can't really attest in my own experience, which is better. Like I was a vegan for, a little over a year. I don't know, it was a year and a half, something like that. But I was definitely low fat for, as long as I can remember. I was in this camp of like, fat's bad. There's no good fat. Keep the butter away. Keep the coconut oil away. Give me carbs, baby. And I felt fine. I was a very active person, man. When I was I guess a high carb vegan, I was eating a lot of fruit. I was eating a ton of beans, potatoes. I've never really been a bread person. I'll be honest. Like, and that's got to be like a blessing. I've also never been a cigarette person. I've smoked cigarettes, and I know I shouldn't say that on a health podcast, but I have people. I have smoked cigarettes before, and they didn't kill me. I'm sure they didn't help me, but I'm not perfect. In fact, ever since I've been on this journey, I haven't smoked cigarettes. They disgust me now. But sometime back in the day, I would smoke some cigarettes, and they never took. How do I describe this? I know there's probably those of you out there who smoke the cigarettes, and you're like, you lucky piece of shit. I would smoke and I'd be like, this is so gross, but I was doing it because I'd be out and I'd be, drinking beers and, I'd be out with my buddies and, somebody pops open a pack of cigarettes and I'd be like, ooh, can I have one? Because, really it's like, booze is like a social lubricant. Smoking is like a social excuse to be social. It gives you an excuse to like go outside on a patio on a nice night and sit there and smoke cigarette with people. And that's what I was in it for. And I hated it every time I smoked. Sometimes I didn't even inhale, because it just didn't, like it physically, the cigarette smoke would go in my throat and it just would get caught there, it would get caught. I'd be like, I didn't want to cough in front of people, like go into a coughing fit. So I would just kind of like half inhale and then blow. It was like when Bill Clinton was like, I smoke weed, but I didn't inhale. That's how I was with cigarettes. I smoke cigarettes, but I didn't inhale. But I looked cool. I think somebody made fun of me one time, in fact. They were like, dude, you're not even holding the cigarette right. I was holding it like Cruella de Vil. I like had it between my two fingers, holding it up above my head. I'm like, yes, bring on the Dalmatians. I wasn't a good smoker, and I'm fucking fortunate for that. And I'm not a good bread eater. That was the whole point of this. I don't like bread. I didn't like bread. I like sourdough bread. I love bagels, but like bread, it just doesn't, it doesn't work for me. Especially if it's like a sandwich and like the shit gets soggy. There's like nothing worse than soggy bread. French bread, fucking love, but maybe I'm like a little bit of a bread eater. Either way. When I was high carb, bread wasn't my thing. It was potatoes, it was beans, a lot of fruit, still eat fruit. What else? Also never really did much with pasta. But rice, rice, beans, potatoes, fruit, starchy carbs, sweet potatoes, the cauliflower, stuff like that, right? And man, like when I was a vegan, like in the first like month, I dropped like 20 pounds, and that was just from eating the diet that I just told you, right? So I never really like was on board with like this doesn't work as far as like a macronutrient perspective. I was fine. But then, I started learning about fat and I was like, well, daddy's going to need some fat, and started getting that fat in there and, miraculously didn't gain the fucking 100 pounds like I thought I was going to. I started eating butter and coconut oil and, now I'm eating like eggs and bacon every single day and red meat. And again, dude, still not packing on pounds. I've gained a little bit of weight because I've been in the gym like 5 days a week, just cranking out fucking reps, squats, doing a lot of leg shit. getting pretty jacked. That's for sure. Like, I'm putting on weight and muscle, probably a little bit of fat, because that kind of goes hand in hand. Bones are probably growing. But, when it comes to like these two camps of high fat versus high carb, like I've gone both ways and I haven't noticed much of a difference, right? And so this Dietfits study was basically that. They basically went out there and they put this to the test. They said, right, who's going to gain weight, right? And who's going to lose weight? So for a year, for 12 months, they took about 600 people. Half were men, half were women. There was really no, there was really no kind of differentiation on like genetics or insulin. They tested all this stuff on people, but they were like, it was very, very randomized. And, they had half the people on high fat, half the people on high carbs. And, they gave them, there was like a period of food education and, kind of learning about like what foods to eat. But, the big thing with this diet was the fact that, or the big thing with this study was the big stipulation was they said, no matter what group you're in, you're going to maximize the amount of vegetables you eat. You're going to minimize your intake of added sugars, refined flours, and trans fat. Added sugars and refined flours for a high carbohydrate diet, it's kind of hard to do, because it kind of comes with the territory. Unless you're eating just nothing but whole foods, which I can do because I'm the holistic a-hole and I make time and I make it a priority to live like that. But most people on a high carbohydrate diet are not on a high carbohydrate diet because they think they are supposed to be. They're just on a high carbohydrate diet because carbohydrates are the most available thing and the most affordable thing to buy in grocery stores and around town, right? So that's just like my little take on that. And a lot of that comes, with refined flours, right? If you're high carbohydrate, you're gonna eat bagels, right? You're gonna eat fucking starches and shit. It just kind of comes with the territory. But then the other part is focus on whole foods that were minimally processed, nutrient dense, and prepared at home whenever possible. So, really the stipulation was with this test or with this study was that you have to eat a whole food diet with lots of vegetables and very little crap. They tried to do this in both of these different cohorts. And what they found was that in the end, both the high fat and the high carb diets, both these people lost on average 13 pounds over the course of a year. Now, that's the average, right? And you have people that some didn't lose as much, some lost way more. They had several people drop out due to medical conditions, which they actually think were a part of the study. But in the end, when you hold these factors pretty much even, right? When you say no matter what you do, as long as you don't eat crap and you eat a whole food diet with lots of vegetables, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna lose weight. So this obsession with the keto diet or the vegan diet, it's just fucking nonsense at this point, right? That's what this study basically showed, is it's just nonsense, right? You don't have to be dogmatic about your macronutrients. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is just not eat shit. Like, that's the secret to all of this, okay? This is why when you see somebody go on a keto diet and they're like, oh my God, I've lost 20 pounds on the keto diet. Well, because for the first time in a long time, what that person did was make a conscious effort to pay attention to the foods they put in their body. They're not just walking down the street and grabbing fucking street tacos or a muffin, right? They're at home cooking fucking, high quality grass-fed meats or eating high quality fats and butter, Now, granted, you have the junk food keto people who still somehow manage to lose weight. Again, because when you go high fat, the advantage of being high fat is that you flip over your metabolic flexibility into mostly fat burning. So essentially what you're doing is you're telling your body like, hey, look, use up all this sugar that we got in here because there's not any more coming. So what you're going to have to do, metabolism, is you're going to have to figure out how to start burning all the stored shit. It's like when you're going to move and you got all that like food in your pantry, you haven't seen it in forever. It's just been sitting there and you're like, oh crap, I got to eat this fucking expired ketchup. I can't throw it away, but I guess I'll eat it. And you eat it and then it's gone. And then it's out of your house. Now your house is actually lighter. I don't know if that's a great example, but you get what I'm saying, is your body is like, all right, well, things are going to change around here. So let's wrap up this little like glucose party we got going. And we're going to start burning all that fat around your ass and around your chin and around your hips and around your tits. We're going to get all that shit out of here. So let's start getting all this sugar out of here. So this is like the advantage of a high fat diet. But at the same time, if you're on a high carbohydrate, low fat diet, essentially what you're doing is you're burning stuff a lot faster. Okay? So a lot of times the food literally goes in, it's like kindling on a fire, that if you're just eating carbohydrates, so long as you're active, you're going to burn it pretty quickly. Right. And so this is what they also found in the study, because they were also making sure that people were moving. They were supposed to be active in the study. So if a person is an active person who doesn't eat, processed garbage and refined sugar with lots of vegetables, and you're active, you're going to lose weight no matter what you do. So this is what you have to do. You have to eat a whole food diet, okay? That is technically plant-based, right? Not plant-based vegan. Vegans, how dare you? You don't own that phrase. Plant-based doesn't mean vegan. Plant-based is like the plants are at the base, and what's on top could be meat, could be fish, could be a pile of jizz. Who knows? But there's plants at the base. Doesn't mean it's not plant totality. It's not the plant totality diet. It's plant-based. So you can be plant-based and still eat animal products. Or you can throw some, whatever on there, okay? So as long as you're plant-based, right? As long as you are moving and as long as you're not eating refined sugar, dude, this is like fucking common sense, okay? You're gonna lose weight. So don't stress. Don't stress about this. And this is what, this is what this study did. And so, I do have some issues with this study, in the sense that, as they were going through the study, a lot of it was based on these like recall assessments where, they couldn't really monitor that well, like what the people were eating. They would say like, okay, you're in the high carb or the high fat group, but the people weren't like in a ward. This isn't like a metabolic ward study. They're like out there in the world living. So, we don't know how much they were actually able to comply to this, right? So we don't know if these people were truly high fat or high carb. They just took these like recall assessment quizzes, which is, if we're talking about like definitive science, it really is like terrible science, we couldn't like send a person into outer space with the quality of science that like a food frequency questionnaire or like a food recall assessment quiz gives us. You know what I mean? Like you could not do open heart surgery with that quality of science. Just asking somebody like, so do you remember what you ate? Do you remember what you ate a couple days ago? Yeah, of course I do. I have a memory like a fox and a reading grade level of fourth grade. It doesn't work like that, right? So, but nonetheless, I think people did their best. And still, I'm not really sold on that kind of efficacy. But what they did find was that kind of when it came to things like LDL cholesterol actually improved on a high carb diet significantly. But then on a high fat diet, HDL cholesterol improved along with triglyceride levels. So what does that tell you, really? What that tells me, just in kind of knowing what I know about cholesterol, first of all, cholesterol is a clusterfuck of a topic to try to understand, right? I know you can go on YouTube and all the vegan YouTubers will tell you, you eat cholesterol, you are going to be dead tomorrow, right? And maybe there's some truth to that. Who knows? But when you talk to people who are actually experts in the field, they know that's not true. They know that's not true. Cholesterol don't work like that, dog. HDL cholesterol, incredibly important. It's the good cholesterol, which is, again, not even accurate. LDL cholesterol is not bad cholesterol. It's just the cholesterol that gets found at the crime scene and is just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it got labeled the bad cholesterol. It's a transport hormone, dude. It's an antioxidant. You need it, right? But still, when you're looking at like heart disease, LDL can be found, okay? So it's not perfect, but it's also not the culprit of atherosclerosis like people want you to believe. HDL cholesterol, on the other hand, is very good. You actually want high HDL cholesterol. It's like the cleanup cholesterol. It's the cholesterol that goes in there and clears out all the LDL cholesterol. It's the cholesterol that you actually need to make things like vitamin D. HDL cholesterol is extremely beneficial. And triglycerides are very bad. And on a high-fat diet, HDL goes up, triglycerides go down. So you're kind of looking at this idea of like, well, between the two, which one's better? In my opinion, I think you're going to go with the high fat, because maybe your LDL goes up, right? But at the same time, how bad is LDL versus your HDL doesn't go up in the high carbohydrate, and you want high HDL. You want more HDL. Your body's going to work a lot better on high HDL. So I think in that sense, high fat wins. Now, to kind of round things out here, in just kind of looking at like what this study really tells me more than anything, what it is that, look, the most important part of your diet is not macronutrients. Please don't be that person who goes onto Facebook and talks about how you're counting your macros, okay? You know who cares? Idiots. That's who cares about your stupid macros, because it doesn't matter. As long as you have a balanced diet, okay? You have 100% of macronutrient capacity. Don't do 90-10 on anything. Don't do 80-20. Don't do 70-30. Don't do 60-40, right? Split that shit down the middle. 40% carb, 40%, 30% fat, 30% protein, right? Because this is what no one's even talking about protein. We got to get protein. You got to get protein. And you got to get protein from animals, right? You need B12. You need carnitine. You need the animal fat. You need the tryptophan. You need all the essential amino acids that you get from animal fat, right? But that by no means has to be the central part of your diet. You can be a plant-based carnivore like me, right? You eat the meat, you eat the plants. Dude, fucking toss some beans in there, toss some potatoes in there, toss some fruit, you freaking asshole. Throw some fruit in there. Stop avoiding fruit. We need fruit. Fruit is so good. So good. Okay? Don't go crazy. I go a little crazy with it. But you know what? It doesn't, it's not going to give you diabetes. You're not going to get diabetes from fruit. If you juice the fruit, if you're like juicing fruit, if you're taking like strawberries and pineapple and your juice. That's not good. Okay, you want to eat the whole fruit because you need that fiber. You need to slow down that glycemic response that you're gonna get. You're gonna get a high glycemic response from just straight up fruit juice. So avoid that shit. Also, avoid the naked juices. Get away from those freaking things. Right? Those are just straight sugar. But yeah, look. As long as you are eating whole foods, plenty of plants, and good quality fats, and good quality carbs, and avoiding refined sugars and anything that comes in a box, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. So don't stress anymore about your macros, bro. You're going to be cool. You're going to be great. Just keep it whole food, and you'll be fine. So that's today's episode, everybody. Thank you all so much for listening. If you're new here to the podcast, please take a moment, hit the subscribe button, go over to iTunes, leave a 5-star review, say something nice about the podcast, share it with everyone you love. Also, head on over to the social mediums, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Hit me up, Holistic A-Hole. If you love the podcast, take a little screenshot in your phone, put it in your Instagram story, find the Holistic A-Holes Facebook group, and also, if you would like to work with me one-on-one or in a group coaching setting, please reach out to me, holistic.a.hole@gmail.com, or you can just slide into my DMs on Instagram. I'm very easy to get a hold of. So I'll catch y'all on the next one. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Have a great week. Peace.